let's finally speak about the typography. It's a huge topic, and I will try to cover so much points as I can in this presentation. I will go through quickly the general rules and general points about how the typography might work well in the posters, web, and in the different things when you can use the font or whatever. So let's start. So I will start from the beginning, and let's speak about a bit what exactly is typography. Typography is the art of arranging letters and text, and it helps to make the copy readable, clean, and it helps people to get the information from the world. We're going to the next point. Why is typography important? I believe that most of us communicate through the fonts and typography even more than with people, and so it's really important to have a high quality of typography appearance, make it readable and clean for the understanding. So, and good typography will establish a strong visual hierarchy and provide a balance and the feeling what we wanted to bring to our design. And so, and it will work from different tools. Let's speak about a bit about the history of typography. And Johannes Gutenberg is the guy who created the first type machine. And why the things started to work out, like why the people started to feel what they need, something what will help to improve their communication from the type. So usually the books were very expensive, and it was really like the art, and the writers who wrote the books, they were like artists, they were the great calligraphs, and it turns around that the books are very expensive, and most of the people can't allow to read and just to have some book in life, and a lot of people started to think about how they might improve the things, and they started to looking for the tool which will allow to communicate between the big group much more cheaper, and so how it might cover the big group of the people. So, and the Johannes Gutenberg, it was the guy who achieved his purpose, and firstly, he tried to find solution using the wheat and trees, and he put the inks on the some background of the trees, and he used it as a pressing, and by the end he realized that it didn't work out, and he started to use the other tools for that, as the metallic or something, and by the end he achieved his purpose. And first book what was appeared in the world, it was the Gutenberg Bible. So this font what was used in this book are still alive, and it's called like the Gothic letters, Gothic font, and yeah, it was a big improvements in history of the type, because the letters were much bigger than it usually was, and it was more readable. And so the Pope of Italy, the Pius II was really expressed by this book, and he said that it's much easier to read when it comes. Here we will cover main rules of using typography. The first is a size. Why it's important? The size of typography can huge influence on the users or on the readers or on all of the people who take some things with the type. And if the text will be too big or too small, or it will have not cool hierarchy inside, it will be hard to read, and the book, for example, just won't achieve your purpose to bring the information to her readers. The tips about the size. For the website, they recommended to use the points of type what started from the 16 and end for 24 points. It's for the body. And for the titles, it's better to use double size of it. For example, if we have a title what is 36 points, we should use the body text around 18 points. Leading or line spacing. So it's also a very important part of good typography composition, because it helps to make the text more readable or just ruin everything. For example, as you can see, when the line spacing is too small, it's became hard to read because we can't recognize which line supposed to be end and which line supposed to be start. And on the second variation, there is the opposite thing. The line spacing is too huge, and it's hard to follow the lines properly, and you just will be lost on it. So the best solution for the line spacing is to use 120 or 150% for the line spacing. When you are working on Figma or something, you just can attach it in your tool. So it's like the best solution when you can find, and it usually will depend from your font size. Tracking and kerning. What kerning is? Kerning is a spacing between the two letters. It's like the pair spacing. And why we need this? Because some of them bad fonts, but sometimes we might have to use it, have not proper spacing between the letters, and some of them are closer to each other, some of them are longer, and it's really interrupt us to see the good composition, and maybe it's not even noticeable for naked eyes, but when you will see the huge picture of all of the body text, all of the copy, you will feel that something wrong here. The composition won't be clear. So, and when we will see some huge mistakes, like for example, the space between R and A will much longer than between A and C. We should to improve it by reducing the spacing between R and A. So, and tracking is pretty similar thing with the kerning. Here example of good and bad tracking, but it's about the size spacing between all of them characters. And it also a thing that sometimes we need to apply manually, because some of the fonts are not made properly, and it might again reduce the readability. Okay, measure. Measure describes the width of the text box, and the best measure that we might to have on our work is about 50 to 78 characters. Because if the line of the copy are too big, person have to move their eyes so much, and they just can't read everything what they want, and they just stop do it because they have to make a big a lot of obstacles before they might get the information from the text. So, and plus to it, usually for the good reading, it's the best to use around 8 or 10 words in the text block. Hierarchy and scale. That's also the thing that all of us have to use, because if we don't have the right hierarchy on our composition, it all the time will interrupt the users from the reading, or they just again will lost in that because they don't see the points where their eyes can catch on it, and so just the things won't be worked. Composition. Rules of external and internal. Unfortunately, I didn't find the right term of it in English, but I just will try to explain what is it and how it might work and how we can use it. I will explain it on the on the material UI example and how they apply this rule. So in general, external and internal rule means the spaces between the different objects. Some of the subjects belong each other. Some of them should be separated visually. And how we might to achieve by the different text blocks and even the differences between the title and the body, it's always about the size of the spacing. For example, if you see the space between the title and body here, it's smaller than the spacing between next text block and previous text block. And when you will use the line spacing on the body, it should be smaller than this size between the text line, between the title and the body. Is it understandable?
Yes.
Okay. And it works not only with the type, it works with every single element on the design. If we want to separate some blocks, we have to use the biggest spacing between them than between the some elements inside the box. Repeat, repeat, repeat. It's also the interesting rule, and I think you've noticed it on a lot of websites. It's mostly about the grid. All of designers, all of people during their work are using the grid system. Static and dynamic composition. So usually the composition is separated on two parts. It's dynamic and static. And what's the difference between them, and what exactly it means and how it might work in our work. So The dynamic composition usually applied on works where the people like to express some moving, some energy, some maybe happiness, and it's something about very active. And the static composition, it's about the professional. It's about the professionalism. It's about the home and the feeling like this, where the things which are always on the place, and we are not moving, and people usually feel like comfortable with that. So it's the poster, when you can see the runner name. It's a creator of Futura font, and he was one of the professions of Bauhaus school. And I just, if you don't mind, I wanted to say a few words about Futura. Bauhaus it was about, they usually worked and believed that simple geometrical forms working much better than some blend and curves and something fancy, because the purpose of it just to say something, and using these geometrical forms, it's the best solution to doing and deliver the information fast. Futura is the type where all the time was used the round and some different geometrical forms, boxes or whatever. Emotions. So here the example about how the people feel about the forms. Here's some pictures from the researches. I found it in the book 100 Things Every Designer Need to Know About the People. And there was some experiments where people were asked about which form they like. And first one, it was just about some real object from the world. And usually it was appeared, but usually choose the form that has some blend angles and some curves. And they like it much more than some sharp objects. And they even try to use that approach on the composition, balance and imbalance, and it doesn't matter anything, because people, it was never mind for people which how the composition looks like and balance it or not. They anyway liked more the sharpen, the blended forms and curves. So, and what we can catch from it for fonts. So if we will use the great round fonts in our design, the people will like it more than some sharpened things, but it also depends from the purpose and what exactly we wanted to express in our work. And if it's some social poster, we definitely might use the sharpened objects for expressing this feeling. For example, if even usually some social posters, they have the purpose to bring to the people the feelings what they have to help, that something happens here. And so in that case, it's good to use the sharpen and sharpen forms. Yeah. One more interesting point about how to bring emotions in your work. I found in the book Stop Stealing Sheep, Find Out How Type Works. The Eric Spiekerman made example of the fonts, comparing it with the suits we're wearing on the streets. For example, if it's some romantic or it's something brutal, for example, bikers or something, we should notice the forms on it and try to find the type which will suit to this meaning. For example, here, the example of some, I don't know, woman who was really inspired by something. And he describes how the fonts was found into this. And and he said that to achieve this feeling about comparing this picture and fonts, the designer of fonts tried to find something soft and easy, and the feeling that it can fly. The lines are really tiny, and it has more tracking than usually we see in the type. So it was the way how this feeling was achieved. Okay, so I think I've done with presentation. Some questions?
Cool. Yeah, there's lots of information. Yeah. So, any questions from anybody?
Okay. Okay, so I also prepared a short workshop according to the things I've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will send the link in the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And please, let's go to the Figma.
Okay.
Okay, everyone is here.
It's loading for me. Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. So, how many people here? I think I need to copy the task.
So each of us has like one row. Is that the point?
Yep.
Okay.
So the thing is, you might create your own frame, or you might just work on one of I copied. And who didn't know the Figma, I quickly explain what you have to do there and what you should use to this task. We will work with the tracking, line spacing, and hierarchy here.
Kseniia, I have no rights to edit this file. And also,
Really?
I'm missing the fonts because you are using some fonts on Mac, and I'm on Windows, and I miss the fonts.
Okay, right now, don't you have a font? Okay, I just I thought what it was the Google one. Okay, I quickly change the font, and we will try again. But what about the Figma using? Everyone's know how to use it, or I should explain.
I never use it, but I think I hope it's quite intuitive. So.
Yeah, it is. But okay, I just anyway I will show. Okay, just let's use robot here, and you can copy your frame if. Firstly, you should choose on which text you want to work. Yeah.
Okay.
And when you choose the things you wanted to improve, you might copy this frame by, you can press the option and just move the things, or Alt if you have the Windows. Okay.
Option.
Yep, and move it. Yeah, but you should take the whole frame for it. Everything. Yeah, it also might work, but you should take the title and the body. And it's usually to take the whole frame. If you want to take a frame, you should copy from the. You should pick up the name of the frame and then copy it. And so in that case, it will.
I did highlight the whole thing like this, and
or like this, yes.
Control copied it away from all the rest.
Or like this, yes. So everyone's copied their text, or not yet?
I copied mine.
Or maybe I just copy it for everyone's.
To be simple.
Oops. I think what happens with the file. How many us?
I think it's 7 of us here, I think.
Okay, here I think enough of the copies. And everyone can pick up the layer he wanna use. We will see who exactly on the board. Yeah, and your task is according the election and according the knowledge about hierarchy, tracking, line spacing, and yeah, and that's it. Yeah, and the rule of external and internal to make the right alignment of the of this block. I give you 5 minutes for it.
Once again, what?
You have to use the things that I've talked about the tracking, line spacing, and the rule of internal and external and hierarchy, and make this text block visually right.
Okay.
And you can achieve that by using. Do you see my mouse? Here you can see in Figma when you choose the text block here, or just part of the text, you can see in Figma the part with the text. Here you can choose the weight of the font. Here you
Sometimes you need to install the fonts, apparently.
Right now you don't have, because
well, if I go back, I think I cannot really edit anything here.
But I change it to the robot, I guess. It should be there.
So Dominic, you can change it on your own to whatever you need, right?
Yeah, you can change the font if you need that.
Like, okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, this works.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just thought like it's the fonts from the Google, and I thought it will work for everyone's.
Yeah, that's fine. You can somehow figure it out.
I'm afraid what the next part you couldn't. Okay, so and here on the right panel, we might choose the tracking. Here we can see where my mouse is. Don't you see?
Yes, we can see it.
And here you can make some decisions about how you wanna the tracking should be look like, and here you can apply the right line spacing between the text lines. So it's still not working.
I tried to change it to any default something, and now that's the spacing, right? No, it's not it.
Yes. So here it's line spacing.
This one.
Yes, this one is
The line
tracking.
height, okay. Oh, okay, I see.
And
The
yeah,
one.
this size of the font, here the weight of the font. And if you will move your text block, you can pick up here. So I just, let's see on the fixed it 30. If I pick up my text block and moving it, I might find the right width of the text block. Please ping me if something you can't achieve or you've done.
Done.
Lukasz? Okay, let's keep it when everyone's complete their task. You can? What's the problem? It's okay. Oh, you completed. It looks okay. Yeah. How is it going?
Well,
Been better, but
because I will use the same font type. That's a good start. I want to fill in more of this, so maybe I will add some. I think like vertically it's fine. Like this shouldn't go to the whole page. I guess because like 3 lines of text is a little too little.
Right now we just should see only the text, and we don't care right now about the frame around.
Okay.
And we don't play with that. We're just working with the text block.
Kseniia, I have actually questions.
Okay.
What about like covers? Like colors and let's say the contrast and stuff like that.
Right. I'm sorry, I missed that. It usually touches the hierarchy part, and we also use it as a tool how to achieve, as you say, the right contrast between the elements of the type. And usually we make the differentiation between the title and the body by the weight of the text, and usually the titles heaviest than the body because it brings more contrast, and it helps people to catch the anchor on the big plot of the text. So and about the colors is just a different huge topic, but usually with the colors we help us to achieve the mood what we wanted to present, and the colors means a lot of a lot of feelings. It can be happiness, and can be fret, and it can be some love, I don't know. Usually we have the common understanding about how the colors works, even without knowledge about it, because we see something in nature what can be associated with these colors what we use. And for example, it's like the common thing that we all know what happiness is the yellow. Why it's the yellow? Because yellow, it's the color of the sun, and the people like to see the sun around, and it helps them to live, and it began from the old old times. This understanding, and yeah, every color have a meaning from the past to us, and the red color means the threat, and many of insects, for example, if they have something red on their body, it usually means that they will be poisoned or something. Oh, cool.
Sorry.
Who done?
I guess I hope I'm done.
Okay, cool.
I don't know, like, if I've... Anyway, I tried to do something, so don't judge me.
I think that looks great. You just it just looks like you know the second task, and took the part from it. But
Right.
Oh, cool, Denise. Okay, I think 2 more minutes, and we will go through your task. What's going on with the layers? It's explain what someone copied that and then deleted, or? Okay, I think I will start to check.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope you will able to recognize your work, it is or not. Okay, I think that is yours.
Yes.
I'm still sharing the screen or not?
Yes, you are.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I see what you've chosen, the right line spacing between the text lines. But here I see what you forgot about the external and internal thing, because here you have the similar spacing between the text block.
Yeah, and those inside. Yeah.
Yeah, and it might interrupt from the understanding which parts belongs to each other, belongs to another part, and in the text block, when we want to separate them, we should use the less spacing than between the title and the other text block. And plus, to it, I think that right now, like the maximal measure of the text block, what we can allow, but if you will take a bit longer, it will be bad. And usually it's better to reduce a bit the measure of it, because users will be easier to read the text block. I don't know, my Siri reacted on my voice. Which one? Who did that? I think I was have to make some differentiation on the layout. Somebody check my my streaming, or okay, I will try to find. Katarina, I think it's yours.
No.
No?
So people name your frames.
Okay, anyway, I just say a few words about this paragraph. So here it looks balanced, despite of the title. It's much more huge than it's supposed to be, but in general, it looks pretty well. And here again, the measure of the text box are longer than it's supposed to be. Here, a good line spacing, and again, I see a bit wrong the external and the internal thing. It works great from the with the white space in general, but this text block should be a little bit closer to the first part of the body, when body and title have the spacing in general. So here is again a great line spacing. Whose work it is?
That's me.
Me is
Me, Irka. I actually wasn't sure how to move the paragraph closer to the first one in Figma, but I just realized that I just should have made two separate paragraphs anyway. So So I think I would naturally make this a little bit closer.
Yes, yes, right.
But it's one paragraph, so if you just wait. Now I know.
Okay.
This is easier.
With the one paragraph, it's much easier.
So I will do something like this.
Yeah, cool. What you use the color for the contrast, and yeah, right now it looks right in general. It's easy to read, so good job. Which one? This? Yep. So here, like also well done, because there is a right spacing between the text block and in the background in general, and there is the right white of the text. But yeah, it was my mistake that I didn't spoke about the contrast. Maybe I made the title more heavy than it is, and maybe I a bit. No, it looks fine. It's like I just thought about text line, but no, it looks good. Oh.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's like great design. But sometimes things like this really works, and it really depends from the purposes. It's good to know the rules, how to use the typography, but sometimes when you wanted to achieve some feeling and you did something in purpose, you might use the things like that, like double text, the wider text block when it is. So, but here we also have on the end of the block a window, the one word in the end of the text, and it's we should avoid the thing like this when the one word in the end, because it looks so lonely and it broken the composition of the text block. Like we here have some around aligned lines, and here just one word, and it broken the text block itself, and it will be hard to make the right spaces between the blocks. Here I think it was untouchable. Or it is. Okay, I don't know. So here, like ideal text block, I don't know what to comment here. Nothing wrong. So, who's this?
Maybe this is just a copy of the original one, right?
Oh, maybe, yeah. And it is. Okay. I think it's Jan's.
Yeah, that's mine. Around.
Okay. So I really like what you used the yellow color, and you add more contrast between the title and the body, and it looks pretty cool, and and bring some feelings about I don't know, happiness or something. But when you use some additional elements to the text block, it's better to add more spacing when it's supposed to be in the first part. If you don't mind, may I?
Yeah, sure. Delete it and.
Yeah. It's again about external and internal thing. right now you have this line that reduce the spacing between the text block and the title.
Right.
And firstly, if you will see on it, you will think that the title and first part of the text block belong each other, but the rest of the text, it's something separated. But in our case, we have one text block, but with two paragraphs. To avoid it, we should just increase this spacing even more than it were without the line. But right, and again, we have a video here. It would better to avoid and interrupt the right balance.
Right.
Yeah, and so you have a perfect line spacing and measure of the text block. So in general, it looks really cool, and I like how you use the rectangle for the title. But here the same thing, we could increase a bit the spacing.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for making it better.
Again, copy, so and it looks like that's it. Or it was Lukas.
Yes.
Yeah. Here, yeah. So here also everything looks balanced, and only one thing that I've noticed again, it's the spacing between the title and text block. It's like again has the similar space between all of the blocks, and if we want to separate a bit we should increase this part. And yeah, and this part, you did the right thing, like when you double the title and the text block again, and you made more space between the separated, completely separated text blocks when inside in the one block. But I think it will work even better if you again make this spacing even more. So, and it will look more separated, and it won't bring some mess in the reading, to the reading. But yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I changed the font to serif. So
Yeah,
increase the reading.
Yeah, the good thing about the serif, I forgot to say, if we have some news website or some website where the people supposed to read a lot, it's better to use the serif fonts because they have some smallest, I don't remember how it's called, but they have these things on the type.
Serifs.
Serifs, yeah. And the human eyes can quickly recognize which letter exactly that he's seeing when on the just sans fonts. And yeah, if you wanna implement something that's supposed to be readable and there is supposed to be a lot of text, it's better to use the serif fonts.
Hey, Kseniia, I'm very sorry. I need to jump on another call, but this was really great, and thank you. And please continue. But I'm just sorry. I need to jump somewhere else.
Okay, thank you much for joining.
Thanks, Kseniia.
Yeah, bye. Okay. So, but I think like it looks the time is supposed to ended, but I have more tasks. And it will depend from you. If somebody has some other things for doing, we can just stop it. Or if somebody has a mood to continue, we can continue.
I want to continue.
What What about the rest of the people?
I will probably have to leave in like 20 minutes, 25, but I'm happy to continue after that.
I will have to go now. So thank you very much, Kseniia. I think this was really nice. I have just one brief question, and because I don't know the answer, because when I learned some like the basics of typography, it was part of that was specifically to like check language. For example, that one rule is that we should not leave like a small one-letter word at the end of the line, as you said.
Yeah.
But I don't know, for example, if same rules apply to, let's say, English. But I don't know if you know this, but I was just curious myself, because some of the rules are tied specifically to a language. Let's say Czech, maybe has.
Yeah, it definitely suits the way this rule suits the way English. And I did the research. I've seen a lot of articles in English when was spoken about the vetoes, and yeah, so it's the same in English.
I see. Excellent. Well, thank you again. I have to go. So
yeah.
Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye. So, okay, let's continue then. If you don't mind, I will hide this excellent job what you have done, because we will work on the same layout. And now we will try to bring some emotions to our work. Sorry, I hide everything. Don't be upset. You will create much more cooler things. But here I'm afraid that will be issue with the fonts. So everyone has missed fonts.
I can quickly download them if it's.
You can download it from here.
Yeah.
I know what I can do here. I just make these titles and make them not so I just make it like a picture, and you just might bring one of them and use it, but unfortunately you couldn't choose the text in that case. But the thing what we will create here firstly is the emotions.
I'll quickly try.
What are we doing?
Right now, I just haven't finished what we will do. If you have again the issues with text block, just choose it. Choose another one, robot or something. Okay. I will create. So right now, 7 people still here, as I see. And I think I will name it by myself. Or not. Okay, so we have 7 layouts, and here we will try to apply our understanding of emotions. For today, we have happiness, inspiration, and aggression. Here we have a fonts from which one we might pick up the more suitable to our association with the emotion you'd like to choose. You can choose the emotion on your own.
Okay. So not only those three, you say. Okay.
Are you lost?
Yeah, I don't
Why?
know what's emotion to do. Can you repeat? Emotions.
Okay, we have it. I have it written in the layout. It's near the colors and like happiness, inspiration, and aggression.
And we have to create like a composition or whatever,
Yes.
whatever we want.
You don't have to just like be tough on yourself and trying just to make something super cool. I just make some open some mind, trying to achieve something, and what I've done, and how it looks like, and you can make something pretty similar, like in the result. Everyone see like poster 1 and poster 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will hide it.
Put the screenshotting. Okay.
When you will chosen your emotion and font what associated with your emotion for you, just ping me, and when I will say what we'll do next.
What other emotions are there in life? Like
Nothing else, you know.
I don't remember.
Okay, why are you lost?
No, it's okay. We will find it.
If you don't want to how to fit, for example, the font, you might press on your keyboard the K.
Okay.
And then you might to choose, or it's not a font. You just can use the V.
Then just
Do you have
I
a
want to
standard?
write there, change text.
Oh, you can because
It's an image. Yeah.
yeah. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I was pretty sure that the Google fonts will be on the every computer with the Figma, because like usually she provides that.
Yeah, even if you install it, it requires you to restart the computer.
Yes.
So I installed it and didn't help. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Strange. I usually just reload the page and it helps.
I can try.
Oh, I see. Denisa found your own font.
I don't have. I don't want to restart or.
Oh, you don't have it or what?
You can actually do it.
I think it looks pretty well for you, Finn. But I recommend you don't use the word you will use, because after that I want to play when somebody will try to guess which emotion the different person wanted to achieve. So So I see that only 3% works here. Oh no! Don't touch the shapes, Thomas.
No.
It will be the next task.
So I shouldn't resize them even.
Okay,
Wait.
okay, let's
Okay.
keep it. Not even color. It will be later. First, you should when you pick up the font and the body, the title and the body, say me, and we will go to the next part. David, Taras, Jan, why you don't want to join us to create the poster? Okay. I think we somewhere else already.
Oh, I can see from last week. That'd be weird.
Oh my God, I should make the space between the pages much more bigger. Why I have some suspicion that all of you chosen the one feeling.
No, it's just a feeling. No.
Yeah, this is weird.
Okay, you've done with the type, or?
2 more minutes.
Okay. You're playing with the shapes already.
Okay.
Okay, the next task will be to play with the shapes that you see. And add to your posters. Again, according to your feeling about the emotion you've chosen.
What should we do? With the shapes, like.
You should create some composition here. You can just add randomly every element what you want to add here, and which sharp has association with your emotion you've chosen, and you can put whatever you want and how many you want shapes there in any order. If you will, I think you know how to change the order of the layers, but for
Just drag and drop it, right? More or less.
yeah, or you can drag and drop it from the panel, or you can just put some layers on the back by keeping Option and Command together, and this, how it's called?
Brackets?
Brackets, yes. The brackets on the left will bring it to the bottom, and on the right on the top of the layers. So yeah, okay. The next task was to pick up the colors, but I see that everybody started before the task was appeared. Just ping me when you will done.
Too bad there is not like a preview of the font, what the font looks like.
Yeah, it will be much easier if on the titles we will see how it's supposed to.
That would be great.
Yeah. Oh, I also have the next meeting.
By the way.
Here. So.
But we have so many things.
Yeah, you cannot leave us, without.
No, just some more guys will come here, I think. Denise, are you lost?
I don't know, what to do now?
You've done?
Wait, it's not possible to change weight of this font.
No, it's not, because it's like one type. Ooh, I'm sorry, I just mixed up the things.
Damn it, that's so difficult.
You can try one more if you're lost or something.
I forgot the name of the font.
If you want to make the things back, you should press the Command and Z on your keyboard, and the things will return. Cool. So everyone's done, or you're still designing?
Yeah.
Basically done.
Oh, wait, I want to be angry.
So you're working on happiness, you say.
How do you know?
I thought it's inspiration.
I don't know. We'll have to find out later.
Okay, let's start to check, because I have 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I guess it's Denisa. Which feeling do you think here? Like, Katerina, your opinion?
Well,
Like it's very
it's read so loud or something.
like sharp edges, and it's like very conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will check yours. Wait, I will delete it. Okay, I don't know. It's strictness.
Strictness. Okay.
Rigidity, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think that Denisa wanted to show the aggression here. And what do you think, Thomas?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, but I think that it's not like enough aggressive because the red color on the background, it's smooth, and it helps to feel you more comfortable when it is. But it's my association.
No, it's to be so much aggressive.
Just a bit. Great, but I like the font you've chosen because it's
From this square. So.
Square. You mean? I mean this font for the title. I think it's like a good choice. It wasn't in my examples, and you found a really suitable one for your emotion. It helps some sharp and strange serif things in the end of it. But at the same time, it's like aggressive and a bit funny, like funny aggressive. I don't know how is it, how it's called. Maybe I think about some comics or something.
I couldn't find any.
Okay. So,
you cannot see that thing.
Yeah, you should put it to your frame.
Yeah. Help me out.
It's really aggressive.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is aggressive. So it's aggression, definitely. Yeah. I just see on it and I'm scared.
It also needs attention, right? It's like
Yes.
Exclamation point.
Yes, I think it's like the good thing that we might use on the social posters. And yeah, it looks like some constructivism stuff,
Warning, coronavirus, use your rúško.
But only here the thing, but I think here it work out well, but the spacing again, like between the blocks and on the beginning, a little bit mixed up. But here it looks okay.
Oh wait. I have to put my shapes in here too. I have shapes.
Oh. It's like the mouth of a shark.
It's
yeah. So I feel dangerous. It's not aggression for me. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
And what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Almost like
And you? Yeah.
The font looks like a Dracula font or something.
Yeah.
It's almost like scary.
It's like something about vampires.
Written in blood or something.
Yeah. And a few words about central alignment. In the cases like here, it's all right to use it, but in the case if you will have a huge copy, it's better to avoid the central alignment of the text because the things are jumping from the both sides, and again the line always has a different sizes and it's hard to read that case. Oh, it's so cool. For me, it's inspiration.
for me fun and inspiration too. Exactly, it's playfulness.
Yeah. But I just see this green rectangles, which one going to the sky, and I feel like something dreaming. Cool. I like your results. I think it's just so interesting working. Like everyone has the similar understanding about the similar feelings without any like. Okay, sometimes it with knowledge, but even without knowledge, it works similar to every person in, I don't know, in the world. So cool. Thank you a lot for joining. I think that's it.